Hello, I'm John Graham, Executive Vice President of Solutions360. And with me today is Joel Harris from Navigate Management Consulting.
Hi, John.
It's good to see you again. So today's topic, this is a big topic. We're talking about OneDashboard to rule them all, actually. And what this is about is if you were to look at an integrator's business and having information, vast amounts of information, how does that come together to really give you the ability to steer your company into the future? And with that is the premise of forecasting. And with me today is Joel Harris. And one of the exciting things that I always stumble across is Navigate Management Consulting's teachings on how to run your business as a best practice and how well that's aligned with some of the tools that are included in Q360. So this topic in some follow-up meetings is talking about these specific dashboards and the reports that are behind them. And Joel today is going to share some of his insights as far as how integrators should be looking at their business and really building in some predictability to managing the business from a profitability standpoint. So with that, Joel, do you want to talk a little bit about your perspective on how we got here today?
Thanks, John. When I started working in this industry, I found a lot of the integrators seeing that their month-end results were something that always created a surprise for them. They never knew it's going to be good or bad. They couldn't have any reliability on it. In fact, I had several owners who would tell me, look, we have no idea. There's no 2 months alike. Integration business is like a snowflake business. Every month is different, and we have no idea. And we hope that at the end of the month, we will get good news. And we can generally plan on good news in the summer when we're really busy, and we can generally plan on bad news in the winter when we're slow. But we have no idea, and stop trying to predict. In my experience, I've always wanted to be able to predict and forecast what the results are going to be so I can actually plan and deliver those results against my goals. So the idea that I couldn't forecast really baffled me. And I spent several years trying to do a variety of correlations and studies into how the past could predict the future. And I stumbled across the idea that the past in our business does not predict the future, but instead our backlog predicts the future if we understand how to use it. I would use the P&L to allow my management team to forecast what the month's end results would be before we got into the month. And that proved to be a very useful tool in helping us understand what levers we actually controlled to deliver the month-end results. The challenge was, in most of our integration business, that meant I was pulling information from about 30 different systems. I had Excel worksheets talking about my project plans. I had Microsoft Project. I had my WIP stored in my accounting database. Sometimes my invoicing was not the same as my revenue recognition. And I had to true up a whole bunch of different things that would make that forecasting somewhat accurate.
Yep, that's explanation is something I experience a lot when I'm dealing with prospective customers looking at Q360. And I know there was a magic moment when we first started dealing with you through Navigate, and you were looking at our system, and we always had a lot of great reports. Obviously, in a unified system, you've got all your business data in one place. There's lots of information to utilize, and the challenge is making it useful. And as you said, you have, in your experience, 30 different systems that you're pulling from. And I think, we had a lot of the key dashboards, your project backlog. We had service contract and managed services contract forecasts. You had your sales booking report. So we had all the pieces that were brought together. And I know you had a conversation with our CEO, Brad Dempsey, and that was sort of the genesis of this idea of the OneDashboard. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that came to be?
That was a great conversation. I've long admired Q360 and the ability for it to have a workflow associated around the accounting so we could actually see how the handoffs went through the entire process. Really impressed with the dashboards that you could pull out of it. But as I talked to Brad, I said, as a business owner, I don't want to go look at 5 dashboards to figure out what's wrong or what will work in the future. Because obviously your dashboards could predict if they were all linked together, but they weren't linked together. And like a lot of owners in our industry, they go chase overtime, reducing overtime, or increasing utilization, or trying to achieve milestones, or schedule versus planned capacity. And so you have these great reports, but they didn't give me the whole picture. And so I worked Brad through what I had systematically implemented in my companies, which was this beginning month planning for the month end result, and how, as a business owner, the single financial statement that helps me do that the most is the P&L. So Solutions360 had a great cash flow system, but as a business manager, while cash is king, I don't manage my business by cash. I manage my business by projects, revenue, and expenses that show up on the P&L. And so as Brad and I talked, he got the idea that, hey, I can take all the information, historical information, add to it the knowledge that my WIP at any given time is exactly and specific, because I'm processing labor and equipment on a daily basis within Solutions360. So I know instantaneously what my WIP is. When I know what my WIP is and I know what's scheduled for labor and equipment, all I got to do is subtract my normal operating costs, and pop, I have my forecasted net income. And we got really excited. I think Brad burned a lot of midnight oil, and we would banter back and forth, and we found that we could project in Solutions360 what your projected P&L was going to be on a forecast, not along with your cash flow, but P&L is the language business owners respond to. When I can show a business owner a P&L, they now know which dashboard to go look at. It's like, do I have a capacity issue? Do I have an equipment scheduling issue? Do I have a WIP issue? Do I have a backlog issue? Do I have a sales issue? They know which lever to go work at. I'm no longer divining, putting up 13 dashboards and say, I wonder where my problem is. Because when you see it in the clarity of a bottom line net income, you then know what lever to push.
Yeah, I remember talking to Brad, and one of the missing pieces was, as you just said, Joel, is looking at the dashboard and seeing what's happening. And then we added a layer of drill down, which is giving you that exact scenario where, do I have a backlog issue? Is sales slowing down? So being able to take the OneDashboard, flip it over into a grid view, and actually drill down to see the numbers. You may have large projects that were just landed and they're not scheduled yet. So all of that information is right at your fingertips. So from a senior management standpoint, you're empowered to see exactly across the company where those potential issues are. So anyway, I'm really excited to see more of this series. I know that Brad is going to be able to join you in the next session, Joel, to go over some of the mechanics and some of the details about what we've touched upon today.
I'm really excited about the tool and its power to plan. I mean, we all know that Solutions360 or any ERP is a great reporting on what happened. I am far more interested in planning and shaping my future as a business owner than I am about reporting the past, and certainly do not need more excitement with surprises in my life. So this is a great advancement to our industry, because once I can plan and have confidence that my plan will yield the results that I'm forecasting, now I can sleep at night.
Exactly. And we're excited to bring this to the marketplace. So I look forward to the next one. Thank you very much for joining me today, Joel.
You're most welcome, John. Great to be here.
All right.